Imagine waking up inside an abandoned asylum. Your only tools, a camcorder, and pure adrenaline. No weapons, no backup. And everywhere you turn, shadows, screams, and people who've been twisted into monsters by science gone horribly wrong. Sounds like a horror game, right? But here's the twist. What if surviving this place wasn't just about avoiding the monsters, but surviving your own body and mind? Today, we're diving into the terrifying world of Outlast to find out if you could actually make it out alive. We're breaking down the science of fear, the reality behind mind control experiments like MKUltra, the brutal toll of exhaustion, starvation, and untreated wounds. And finally, what your odds would really be if you found yourself trapped in Mount Massive Asylum. Let's start with the first enemy you'd face in Mount Massive. And no, it's not Chris Walker or the twins. It's your own biology. See, fear isn't just a feeling. It's a full-body reaction, hardwired into your brain by millions of years of evolution. The moment you step inside the asylum, your amygdala, the brain's fear center, kicks into overdrive. Your heart starts pounding, blood rushes to your limbs, muscles tense, your vision sharpens. You're in fight or flight mode, whether you like it or not. In the short term, this is great. It boosts reaction time, gives you a burst of strength, even dulls pain. But Outlast isn't a short burst of terror. It's hours of being hunted in pitch black hallways, and your body is not built to sustain that level of adrenaline. Studies show that prolonged exposure to fear floods your system with cortisol, the stress hormone, and too much cortisol, it starts to destroy you from the inside. Your immune system weakens, your memory gets foggy, your reaction time actually drops. In a 2016 study, subjects exposed to constant stress began showing signs of impaired decision-making in just 48 hours. In Mount Massive, that means missing escape routes, freezing at the worst possible time, or misjudging how close a variant actually is. And then there's fear's effect on your mind. Under extreme stress, your brain shuts down higher reasoning to focus on survival. Logical thinking, planning, gone. Instead, you start making snap decisions, often the wrong ones. That's exactly why Outlast makes you run into locked doors, hide in the wrong places, or forget paths you just came from. It's not bad gameplay. It's accurate psychology. Even hallucinations aren't far-fetched. Sleep deprivation and fear combined can cause auditory hallucinations in under 24 hours. Visual ones kick in shortly after. That moment when you think you see someone in the corner of your eye, but nothing's there, totally real. The game captures this with its eerie sound design and shifting shadows, making it feel like the building itself is alive. Your perception of reality starts to erode. But worst of all, chronic fear drains your physical stamina. You get weaker, slower, more clumsy. While Miles can sprint, jump, and climb for hours, real humans hit a hard wall fast. Most people would be running on empty after an hour or two of nonstop terror. So before you even deal with the monsters, your first fight is against your own biology. And most people, they'd lose. Think Murkoff is just a made-up evil megacorp? Think again. The experiments in Outlast are heavily inspired by real-world projects like MKUltra, one of the most disturbing classified operations in US history. Starting in the 1950s, the CIA launched MKUltra to explore how to control human minds. The goal? Create the perfect spy. The methods? Straight up nightmare fuel. Subjects, often psychiatric patients, prisoners, and even civilians, were dosed with LSD, put in sensory deprivation, electroshocked, and subjected to weeks of sleep deprivation. One infamous case involved a patient being kept in a drug-induced coma for 20 days while audio loops played non-stop, trying to implant new memories. Sounds familiar? That's basically the blueprint for the Murkoff Corporation. In Outlast, the variants are people destroyed by experiments involving trauma, hypnosis, drugs, and a machine called the morphogenic engine. But here's where it gets real. Scientists today are actually developing machines to manipulate brain states, like transcranial magnetic stimulation and deep brain implants that can alter mood or perception. The game's fictional nanite-based entity, the Walrider, might seem sci-fi, but nanotechnology is already being used in neurological research. We're not controlling dreams yet, but we are experimenting with nanoscale devices that interact with neurons. The morphogenic engine is named after morphogenic fields, a fringe pseudoscience theory, but it mimics real-life sleep studies on lucid dreaming, weaponizing dreams to generate a hive mind entity. Even the asylum's design reflects real-world psychological torture techniques. MKUltra documents revealed that removing sensory input, no windows, no clocks, no regular schedules, was a key strategy. It breaks your sense of time and reality. Mount Massive is a labyrinth by design. Every hallway looks the same. You lose track of where you've been. That confusion is part of the experiment. The justification? National security. Progress, same as Murkoff. But behind every excuse is a trail of human wreckage. People reduced to test subjects and forgotten. Just like in Outlast, where hidden documents and recordings hint at failed experiments and silenced whistleblowers. So no, this isn't just horror fiction. It's a mirror held up to real atrocities, and the terrifying thought that science, unbound by ethics, can become the scariest monster of all. So, let's say you're in Mount Massive, and Chris Walker's stomping down the hall. You duck into a locker, heart pounding, and hold your breath. Congratulations, you just trapped yourself. In Outlast, hiding feels like a solid survival strategy, but in reality, it's one of the worst things you could do. See, game logic relies on scripted enemy paths and behavior trees. Enemies won't check every locker unless triggered, but real threats, especially violent ones, don't follow rules. If someone's hunting you, they'll search everywhere. And a metal locker that's loud, enclosed, and easy to trap you in. Your breathing, your shifting weight, even the creak of the door hinge, it all becomes a liability. And unlike in the game, there's no hold X to calm down. Your stress response actually increases your noise output. Worse, lockers have only one exit. If you're caught, there's nowhere to run. In survival psychology, confined spaces with no escape routes are a last resort. If anything, constantly moving and staying unpredictable is a much more effective defense. Predators, even human ones, rely on patterns. If you're static, you're easy to corner. If you're mobile, adapting, changing elevation, or using cover, your survival chances increase dramatically. Plus, there's a mental toll. Staying hidden ramps up anxiety. Time distorts. A minute feels like 10. Your brain starts second-guessing everything. Should you run? Stay put? Did you hear footsteps? This indecision slows your reaction time exactly when you need to act fast. So, while Outlast makes lockers feel like a safety net, in the real world, they're a coffin with hinges. Let's strip away the supernatural for a second. What would actually happen to your body if you were in Mount Massive for, say, 24 hours with no food, no water, no sleep, and constant physical stress? Bad things. Very bad things. Sleep deprivation kicks in fast. After just 24 hours without sleep, you'll experience reduced cognitive function, slowed reaction time, and impaired decision-making. At 36 to 48 hours, microsleeps begin. You start losing consciousness for fractions of a second, which in a chase scenario could mean falling downstairs or failing to react to danger. Food deprivation is slower, but just as deadly. Within 12 to 24 hours, your glucose levels crash. That's your brain's primary fuel source. You'll feel lightheaded, weak, and irritable. Keep moving without food for a few days, and your body starts breaking down muscle tissue. Even simple actions like pulling yourself up over a ledge become difficult. Now, add dehydration. Without water, especially under exertion, your body loses electrolytes fast. In just 24 hours, you risk severe fatigue, confusion, and loss of coordination. In Mount Massive's cold, damp, and unsanitary environment, that also means hypothermia, infection, and slow healing injuries. And let's not forget trauma. Miles gets sliced, punched, thrown through windows, and keeps going. Realistically, a single deep laceration without medical attention can lead to septic shock in under 72 hours. A broken bone, you're immobile. Game over. Mount Massive isn't just scary, it's a death sentence by 1,000 cuts, none of which the game forces you to actually feel. But if you were there, every second would chip away at your body's ability to function. Your camcorder might have night vision, but your body doesn't have infinite stamina. Could you survive Outlast? If we're being honest, probably not. Not because of the monsters, not even because of the Walrider, but because your own body would betray you long before anything else did. The fear response that's meant to protect you becomes your biggest weakness. Sleep loss, starvation, dehydration, untreated injuries, and psychological trauma all pile up fast. In the game, Miles keeps moving, but in real life, you'd collapse before you ever reach the exit. And then there's the bigger horror that the Murkoff experiments, as insane as they seem, are rooted in real history. The line between fact and fiction, it's razor thin. Outlast doesn't just scare you with monsters, it scares you with reality, warped and twisted, but based on truth. So next time you boot up the game, remember, it's not just the variants you should fear, it's what happens when science forgets ethics, when fear becomes a weapon, and when the human mind is pushed past its breaking point. Now I want to hear from you. Which part of Outlast disturbed you the most? The supernatural horror or the real-life science that inspired it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you liked this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. We've got more nightmare fuel coming your way, scientifically approved.